Nobody saw this coming. Welcome to Gooner's Report, your trusted source for Arsenal updates, analysis and fan reactions. Subscribe now and join the Gunners community. Arsenal forever. Andrea Berta is close to finalising two very different January moves at Arsenal, and neither will involve a marquee signing. While rivals scramble for late window solutions, the Gunners' sporting director is executing a far calmer plan. With injuries easing and Mikel Arteta edging closer to a full-strength squad, Arsenal's January strategy is becoming clear. Streamline the squad, protect long-term targets, and refuse to be dragged into short-term mistakes. This has been a deliberately quiet window at the Emirates. That is not indecision, it is design. As Arsenal's injured players return, minutes are becoming harder to come by. That reality is driving Berta's focus toward outgoings rather than rushed incomings. Ethan Nwaneri is among those affected. The highly rated teenager is expected to leave on loan, with Marseille emerging as a leading destination. Arsenal believe regular senior football is essential at this stage of his development, and with competition intensifying in midfield and attack, opportunities would be limited over the coming months. Alexander Zinchenko's situation is also evolving. The Ukrainian is currently away from the club, and his future remains uncertain following candid comments from Nottingham Forest boss Sean Dyche and renewed interest from another side. While no decision has been finalised, a permanent or extended move away is increasingly plausible. For Berta, these are calculated decisions, reducing congestion without weakening the core of Arteta's squad. Away from departures, Arsenal's name continues to surface around elite-level talent, most notably Yan Diomande. Liverpool are understood to be preparing a concrete bid for the winger, with RB Leipzig making their stance brutally clear. Negotiations start at €100 million, £87 million. Caught offside report that Liverpool's pursuit is currently the most advanced, viewing Diomande as a long-term successor to Mohamed Salah. Arsenal, however, are not biting. The Gunners have tracked Diomande for 2 years and internally view him as a potential heir to Gabriel Martinelli. But Berta is reluctant to be drawn into a bidding war. With Tottenham, Chelsea and Manchester United also monitoring the situation, Arsenal's position is firm. Admiration does not equal obligation. Unless Leipzig's stance softens dramatically, Arsenal will walk away and revisit the market on their own terms. Elsewhere, Arsenal continue to be linked with Rennes centre-back Jeremy Jacquet. Chelsea appear closest to striking a deal, with personal terms reportedly agreed, though a fee remains unresolved. The expectation is growing that Jacquet stays in League One until the summer. Arsenal are monitoring developments but have not advanced talks. Bournemouth's Marcos Senesi has been mentioned as an alternative, though neither option is viewed as urgent given current defensive depth. This again reflects Berta's wider approach. No signings for the sake of movement. ESPN have reported Arsenal interest in Real Madrid playmaker Arda Güler, another name firmly filed under opportunity rather than priority. Güler began the season as an important part of Xabi Alonso's midfield plans, but his influence has waned, and uncertainty surrounds his role under incoming coach Álvaro Arbeloa. Despite this, Arsenal have no intention of forcing a January move. Any serious pursuit would be more realistic in the summer, when roles, budgets and squad needs are clearer. With less than 2 weeks of the window remaining, Arsenal are not panicking, and that is the story. Andrea Berta's first January at the club is shaping up as a lesson in restraint. Loans and exits will sharpen the squad. Long-term targets will be protected from inflated fees. And unless an exceptional opportunity presents itself, Arsenal will resist the temptation to act simply because others are moving. It may not satisfy those craving headlines. But inside the club, this is seen as the right kind of quiet. Arsenal are finally on the move, with the January transfer window entering its final stretch. 2 Arsenal deals are now close to being completed, and behind the scenes, Andrea Berta is already laying foundations for a major summer push. A Real Madrid star is now on Arsenal's radar. A highly rated Hale-End talent is set to leave on loan. And a permanent exit looks imminent for another senior Gunners player. Let's break down everything you need to know. It's been a calm January so far at the Emirates, and that's no accident. With injury issues easing and Mikel Arteta close to having a fully fit squad, Arsenal are prioritising outgoings over incomings this month. Fringe players are finding opportunities harder to come by, and that's shaping the club's short-term strategy. Andrea Berta's main focus remains firmly on summer recruitment, but a few important moves are about to be wrapped up before this window shuts. Despite links to defenders like Marc Guéhi and Jeremy Jacquet cooling off with Guéhi now at Manchester City, and Jacquet close to Chelsea, Arsenal are still monitoring elite young defenders. According to The Athletic, Real Madrid's Victor Valdepenas is a name Arsenal are keeping a close eye on. Age 19, recently made his Real Madrid debut, highly rated inside the Bernabeu, release clause, €50 million, £44 million, and contract runs until 2029. This isn't a January move, but it's a clear signal of Arsenal's long-term defensive planning as Berta continues to target elite young talent. One move that is happening now is Ethan Nwaneri's loan exit. After rejecting interest from West Ham and Bournemouth, Arsenal have agreed a loan deal with Marseille for the remainder of the season. Why Marseille? Roberto De Zerbi's style of football, guaranteed attacking opportunities and a development-focused environment. According to Foot Mercato, Nwaneri is expected to arrive in Marseille today to finalise the move. He'll link up with Mason Greenwood and Matt O'Reilly. This is viewed internally as the perfect next step in his development. Another exit is also close. Oleksandr Zinchenko is set to complete a permanent transfer to Ajax, following a disappointing loan spell at Nottingham Forest. What started as a temporary deal has now evolved into Ajax agreeing to pay a modest transfer fee. Key details: just 5 appearances since Sean Dyche arrived. Only 1 Premier League start, and medical slightly delayed, but confidence remains. The deal will be completed before deadline day. This move would finally bring Zinchenko's Arsenal chapter to an end and help streamline Arteta's squad further. So while January may feel quiet on the surface, the reality is very different. Just 5 appearances since Sean Dyche arrived. Only 1 Premier League start and medical slightly delayed, but confidence remains. The deal will be completed before deadline day. This move would finally bring Zinchenko's Arsenal chapter to an end and help streamline Arteta's squad further. So while January may feel quiet on the surface, the reality is very different. Youth development carefully managed, squad trimmed intelligently, elite level targets monitored for summer, and no panic buys just precision planning. Andrea Berta is laying the groundwork for Arsenal's next evolution. So Arsenal fans, what do you make of this window so far? Is the Nwaneri loan the right move? Would you want Arsenal to trigger that £44 million release clause for Valdepenas in the future? And are you happy to wait until summer for big signings? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily Arsenal transfer news, injury updates, and match previews. Because when Arsenal move, we'll be right here breaking it all down. And as always, come on you Gunners. Meanwhile, in previously news,